Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome to one of the toughest challenges of the iRacing season, LMP3 and GT4 multiclass at Long Beach. I've made life even harder for myself by glancing the wall twice in qualifying, so we're lining up P18 of a 24 car LMP3 field. And we are now already underway. The rolling start, a very tricky hairpin onto the start-finish straight, and it looks like I've lost a position to Joseph Ribas. He's now ahead of us on track, but thankfully we've gotten through without any contact. Can we maintain that through the rest of this race? Can we even maintain it through this opening set of corners? I have a little look down the inside of Ribas, but there's no room. We've got a car off on the left-hand side. That's Mark Hewitt, who's come a cropper very early in this race. Ribas nearly getting it in too hot up ahead of us. He manages to keep his car out of the wall, but already you can see just how tricky it is to get these LMP3 cars through the streets of Long Beach as we're now underneath the roller coaster and into the middle part of this lap. Tricky left-hander down into second gear, one car off to the right-hand side. That looked like Chaz Johnson into the barrier again very early on in this race. Drivers struggling on cold tyres, cold brakes. Look at that, a snap of oversteer myself there through the right-hander, and now we're just looking to get our concentration and focus and settle in for the rest of this race. But look at these highlights from the opening couple of corners. Here's the first incident then at T1, just lighting up the rear tyres there, and again I think we're going to see the same thing for Chaz Johnson as he comes through the left-hander carrying too much speed. He does keep it out of the barrier. We rejoin the live action then, still following Ribas on track, and Christian Ortega is the next car up the road. We've got a little bit of a gap to the driver behind, but you can see heading into T1 a gaggle of cars fighting for position. We've gained one spot off the start because we lost out to Ribas on the rolling start, but then two drivers crashing out as we saw on lap 1. We're just playing follow my leader here, but look up ahead, Ortega lights up the rear tyres as well. He's got it wrong. We're able, thankfully, to just get by him there as he got into a half spin. Let's have a look at it again on the replay, and again just taking too much speed through, maybe clipped the curb there. He holds the brakes nicely and there's just enough room for us to file past. Luckily for me, we'd gain more positions on lap 2 as Fugare slams on the brakes there, catching out the driver behind him, Amra. All of which meant that as we rejoin the live action on lap 3, we're up into 14th position. So actually, we're starting to make some progress in this race as drivers fall off the track, and I'm just getting my car into a comfortable place to begin pushing and getting some more lap time out of this LMP3. Look in the rear view mirror though, and that's Wissard, and he's already putting pressure on me. So he's well up to speed, and I've got a feeling as we're coming down the back straight here, and he's nicely tucked into my slipstream, he's going to try and move down the inside. Yeah, look at that, he shapes for it. He's down alongside me into the braking zone. I'm really not going to look to fight this too hard at this point of the race. There is such a long way to go, and if he's got more pace than I have, let's see if I can follow him through. Oh, a lock-up up ahead. Big traffic congestion at the hairpin. Very easy to lose a bit of your car there. Thankfully, we got through. We move forward then to lap 4, and you can see a queue forming behind Elenius up ahead. I'm just holding station at this point. I want to give myself enough of a gap to the cars ahead because I can sense danger and I need time to react. But look at that, there's already a driver off. We've just passed him there on the right hand side. That looked like it's Mitty. Yes, look at that, he's coming into the corner, carries too much speed, again lights the rear tyres up, and that is going to be him falling back in the field. On to lap 6 then, and finally Wissard was able to make a move on Ribas. We're following the two cars then down the main straight. We're just behind again, just keeping a watching brief at this point. We've got Wissard on the outside here. He's going to try and get all the way around. Ribas defending the inside. They're side by side on corner exit. They come together. A barge from Wissard, and he's able to squeeze his car through. So we rejoin the live action later on that lap. I've been able to reel Ribas right in here. I think he's a bit cross at that barge from Wissard. He's made the odd mistake, and as we come into the hairpin, he'll make another one. Locks up, carries too much speed through. I'm going to have a better exit as we get onto the start-finish straight here. I'm tucked in nicely underneath his rear wing, and I'm going to try and make the move down into T1. Here we go then, you can see the overspeed. I'm going to come to the inside. He's not going to actively defend here. So now we're into the braking zone, spotted at the 400 board, and keep it nice and tight. There's a bit of contact, but we're able to get through, and I'm up a position there, back past Rebus, who took us, if you remember, off the rolling start. Now we're back ahead. Let's look at it again on replay. Oh, there he goes. He just turned in a little bit early. Thankfully, it didn't unsettle my car. I wonder if actually he locked up the brakes there, and that's what took his car into mine. Yeah, it was quite a sudden movement there. We were a little bit lucky not to get into an accident, but a great overtaking manoeuvre. We're on to lap 9 then, and we're following cars up ahead who are about to lap actually from the LMP3 field. We haven't yet come across any GT4s on track. Oh, and he's lost it. The driver up ahead, already struggling in the race, has unfortunately stacked it into the barrier. On to lap 10 then, and now we're going to have to start dealing with the GT4 cars. Look up ahead, and we've got cars all over the track. This is going to be exceptionally tricky, and Rebus is putting pressure on from behind as well. There's one of the GT4 drivers off to the right hand side. I'm going to have the grunt to get past him into the braking zone of the right-hander here, and we're able to cut through that corner. And now we've got another driver up ahead, a McLaren, that we're going to try and get past on this back straight, and then cut back to the racing line in time, and I'm able to do it. But now it's just going to be a case of threading our way through this GT4 field, and there is not much room here at Long Beach to do that. We're on to lap 12 then, and coming into the hairpin once again, and a driver's made a big mistake. That's Cavalier, who's got it wrong into the hairpin. He's carried too much speed, as we'll see here on replay. We had no advanced warning or sight of that accident whatsoever. Thankfully, he was off the racing line, and I was just able to squeeze past. He rejoins just ahead of Rebus. On to lap 14 then, and more GT4 cars that I'm having to deal with up ahead. I'm going to get past one ahead of T1, but then I'm going to have to follow the next driver through here and hope that I don't lose too much time. This is the problem. If you catch the GT4 cars at particular parts of this track, there's just no way through. There's no room for two cars. I'm going to take a big gamble going round the outside of the right-hander there. We're able to make it stick, and we fast forward to the end of that lap, and there's a yellow flag out, but I can't see anything on track. It looks like the accident might have already been cleared. Let's take a look to see what happened, and it's Wizard here that we're following. Oh, and he's lost it. So the hard charging driver who came through the field has unfortunately lost his car. And then we're going to get another bit of good luck here as Rebus, coming through T1, gets it wrong and collects Cavalier. So that's going to be two of my rivals taken out of contention essentially here. There's it on board with Cavalier, nowhere for him to go, and here is Rebus taking to the pit lane for repairs. So that's taken the pressure off behind. It's now a case of whether I can build on this top 10 position that we've got at the moment as I continue to find my way through the traffic. Some GT4 runners are now catching up again with some LMP3 runners who've been in the wars. But my target up the road remains Elenius. Now we've got about a 3-second gap to him, so I need to clear Chaz Johnson here as quickly as I can. Luckily, we've caught him on the start-finish straight, and you'll see the closing speed is significant here. Oh, I thought he was going to give me room there, but he nearly squeezed me out. A bit of confusion, nothing malicious I think, but we very nearly came a cropper there, and just look at how easy it is for your race to fall apart here. Now, thankfully, we had some clear track for the next few laps, and I've been able to rein in Elenius up ahead. I've been setting fastest PB times for myself. We're down into the 1:18s, and now the gap is just 2 seconds, so that's a lot to close in on one more racing lap. But let's stay on board and see if I can do it here, because I'm feeling more and more confident in the car, and I'm extracting more and more pace. Lap after lap after lap, I've been setting new PBs, and that gap to Elenius has been coming down. We're similarly matched on pace, but I've had the edge over the last few laps of this race. So maybe, just maybe, if he makes a mistake or if we come across more traffic, which we're about to do, you can see a GT4 runner there just up ahead. That's surely going to slow Elenius down. Let's see if it plays out that way and if we can capitalise. He must be getting bogged down into the braking zone there. He'll have the back straight to get past him though. The gap has come down by a few tenths of a second, but unfortunately he's been able to get past. There's a back marker off to the right hand side. There's no new positions to be gained there, but unfortunately I don't think there's going to be any positions to be gained from Elenius either, because we're going to catch the GT4 car here just coming into the hairpin. I'm going to run out of laps. Unfortunately, we just didn't manage to get close enough to Elenius to get into his slipstream. Maybe with a few more laps of the race we could have challenged, but as it stands we're going to come home in P10, and I've got to say I'm really happy with that. Gaining 8 positions across the race and not collecting a single incident point. Here's the full classified results then, confirming a decent bump to our safety rating and our iRating. Just a hugely enjoyable and absorbing combination, this one. Here's the GT4 field and their results as well. And if you enjoyed this race, then I really think you'll enjoy the video that's on screen now. See you on the next one.